Nothing that I'm saying right now is going to have anything to do with this beautiful goddess right here. She did nothing wrong. She pulled the show. She carried her weight. She literally did everything. The only reason I continued was because I wanted to know how she ended up. Now let's get into this. When it comes to Bridgerton right now, I probably will not watch it again. I'm okay. I have watched the first 2 seasons at least 5 times each. I don't think I'll be rewatching the season. It has nothing to do with Nicola. She's amazing. She's gorgeous. She is beautiful. When I saw her on that screen, I said, yes, this is everything that we wanted to see. However, it's hard for me to believe that the showrunner actually felt the same way. This was the least amount of intention that I've ever seen put into a show. There were scenes filled with filler. Like, genuinely, people were not talking. We're panning around the scenery. We're like seeing people just like canoodling in corners with some of the worst cover options playing. And I'm just like, where is Pollen? I feel like the fact that I had to ask so many times, where is Pollen, throughout the season is insane to me. I spent too much time learning about everybody else over them, which goes to show me that I don't believe that they took this seriously. I actually believe that they did not see that people were invested in Pollen. And I think that a lot of this has to do with people's internal biases when it came to who was leading the show. Why did we see less of them and so much of everyone else? I think that they planted Francesca into the season to have a more dominating role, because Francesca, and if you look at TikTok, you will see a lot of people believe she looks like a princess. She looks like Daphne. People miss Daphne. And obviously we know Penelope does not look like Daphne. I believe that the showrunners and the people involved probably have their own internal biases towards Francesca as well, and the Daphne-like look, which is why they put such a big emphasis on her. Of course you can put an emphasis, but for her to have such a large part, that's not a supporting character. At this point, it was her show and Penelope's show, which I just don't think is fair, because that hasn't happened with anyone else. And the only reason I can question that is because I believe a lot of people thought that a bigger presenting girl would not be able to keep up the same impact as a Kate or a Daphne. I don't think that they thought people would be interested, even though we made it very clear that we would. And it was a lot of their own internal biases. It was them. It was definitely that. You can tell they did not give them enough screen time. And that's because you didn't think that their storyline was going to be able to stand up on its own. And their storyline's not that much different than anyone else's. So the only difference is the actual person involved. Carriage scene was top tier phenomenal. I do think the Pitbull song was, I don't understand why. But when it came to the actual first scenes of intimacy, when they were actually going to do this deed, and I have my own complaints with that as well. I do believe that, from what I understand in the books, they waited. Now listen, I'm sex positive. I didn't wait till marriage. But what I don't really like is the fact that Penelope seemed to get differential treatment. Also, the way that they were just so cavalierly talking about Colin clearly being intimate with Penelope with his brother. I don't remember anyone doing that before in other seasons. It just felt very like, it still felt like she was the butt of a joke. I can't explain it. Like, why did they have to tell Colin to tell her, I love you? He already knows to do that because he does. Like, intrinsically, he does love her. But we're planting things in the show to make it feel like maybe he doesn't. And I think that, again, is an internal bias. It really, really is. And I know, I feel like I'm just ranting a lot, but I have so many little tiny things to nitpick with when it comes to the show. And I think I'm going to try and break it down more so that you can understand exactly what I'm saying. Because I'm like, it wasn't good. It wasn't. Nicola was amazing. Amazing. And I don't believe that the chemistry wasn't there because they don't have chemistry, because we've seen them interacting in real time. But I do believe that something on set and something within the script and something within like the showrunner's vision for the show put this distance between them that wasn't like, it wasn't giving chemistry to me. I feel like a lot of people who are saying like, oh, I see chemistry, it's just because you see somebody being kissed by somebody. That doesn't translate to chemistry. It wasn't palpable. What happened in the carriage was palpable. What happened in that first sex scene was not. Even the dynamic of shots, the intention that was put into that, when it came to like scaling up the leg, when it came to looking at the fingers, caressing the shoulder, that didn't even happen when she was having her first time with a person. And again, before they were married, which I don't have a problem with, but it's more so that's not how it went. I don't know why we had to do that for her. I do wish that she still got that more chivalrous, gentlemanly like treatment. It was literally like, do you want to get married or not? All right, well, let's go, sister. Like, it just all felt very rushed, very like we were missing that. And in the first half, I thought we were growing towards it, but then the second half, it plummeted altogether. Just because he's mad, it does not mean he's not desiring her. And I really wish that even when they were arguing, like, let's say he would say whatever he had to say, and then she's like, oh my God, Colin, shut up. And like, we slow it down and we stop. We're not even listening to her because he can't even hear her right now because he can't stop looking at how beautiful she is. So while he's trying to pay attention, he's like looking at her and like really taking her all in because he's in love with her. Even though he feels this distance, he's in love with her. And we're just seeing her beauty through his eyes. We didn't get that